The room was drowned in half-darkness, while the distant lights of Manhattan spilled through the hazy glass, painting strange shadows across the floor. I stood in one corner, my heart beating so loudly it felt as if the entire building could hear it. The silence inside caged me, and the glow outside threatened to expose me. Moment by moment, it seemed as if time itself had stopped, as if even breathing had become impossible. Then suddenly the sound of footsteps broke the stillness. Slow, deliberate steps, each one echoing closer, each one sending a tremor through my body. Ethan appeared tall and unshaken, carrying the same authority, the same aura. And those eyes that could awaken fear and stir desire in the same heartbeat. I tried to lower my gaze, but the intensity of his stare forced me to look up again. A faint smile tugged at his lips, a smile that carried both command and mystery. He took one more step forward, and I felt the wall press against my back. His arms framed me, forming a cage that made me believe the entire world had shrunk to only him and me. His nearness thickened the air. His presence weighed heavy on my chest. My breaths grew uneven. My heartbeat rose to my throat. His hand reached for mine, sliding his fingers slowly around it. That grip was both soft and firm, soft enough to make me feel weak, firm enough to remind me I was no longer free. His fingers traveled beneath my chin, tilting it gently upward. I found myself staring into his eyes, and it felt as if he was reading every silence, every secret I had hidden. Time froze. The world outside faded. He spoke no words, yet his silence carried thousands. I tried to shut my eyes to escape the storm inside me, but his touch held me captive. His lips came close to my ear, and the heat of his breath brushed against my skin. My body trembled, but not with fear. This tremor was born of a pull I could not resist, a pull strong enough to break down every wall I had built. I thought to myself, if this is deception, let me live inside the lie. Because the peace of this moment weighed heavier than years of loneliness. This captivity was not my weakness, it was my longing. And for the very first time, I surrendered myself entirely to that longing. The soft drizzle tapped against the window pane, each drop beating in rhythm with my heart. In the silence of the room, that sound echoed like music. I kept telling myself these moments were temporary, just a fleeting game that would vanish tomorrow. But the closer he came, the more my thoughts scattered. His presence pressed down on me as though the walls themselves were shrinking, closing in to trap me. I tried to reason with my heart, to remind myself that this closeness was not meant for me, yet my heart dismissed every word of logic my mind offered. The sound of his footsteps resounded in my ears. He stopped, then leaned toward me with unhurried grace. His arms came around me, framing me completely, as though I belonged inside his circle alone. My back pressed against the wall, and I realized I had no path of escape. His eyes fixed upon my face, peering into me as if he could see every secret hidden beneath my skin. I parted my lips, trying to speak, but the words stuck in my throat. My lips were dry, my breaths uneven. He exhaled near my forehead, and my heart quivered violently. His fingers slid gently into my hair. That touch coursed through me like a current of lightning, sparking life into every silent corner of my soul. My eyelids closed against my will, and I felt every defense, every resistance, break apart piece by piece. One thought rang louder than all others. If this is a lie, then let me live inside the lie. His touch told me I was not merely a shadow, not a substitute, but something real, something undeniable that he could feel. His grip tightened around my waist, firm and unyielding. Yet instead of frightening me, that grip filled me with a strange assurance, as though years of loneliness had dissolved into a moment of belonging. The heat of his lips hovered close to my ear, and the warmth of his breath unsettled me to my core. My body trembled, but the tremor was not fear. It was desire. I opened my eyes, and he was still staring into me. In his eyes, I read the words without sound. This captivity is not your weakness. It is your strength. At that moment, I surrendered. I was no longer imprisoned. I was free, free in the very embrace that claimed me. The atmosphere in the room grew heavier than ever. Outside, the rain had grown fierce, and every drop striking the glass sounded like the echo of my heartbeat. The dim light trembled across the walls. The air was thick with dampness, and his presence changed everything with each passing moment. Ethan stood before me, not as a shadow, but like a mountain looming in the silence. The intensity in his eyes surrounded me, as though he were reading every secret written within me. Again and again I tried to break away from his gaze, yet the force of it held me captive. A war raged inside me. My mind whispered this was only a game, but my heart insisted it was real. His hand slid from my wrist to my arm. A shiver shot through me, so sharp it felt like my very blood had been jolted awake, racing in wild streams. A soft gasp escaped me, but he only drew closer. His nearness made my breath ragged, uneven, impossible to hide. I closed my eyes, and his scent overwhelmed my senses. Smoke, expensive cologne, and the damp perfume of rain combined into something intoxicating. My heart pleaded silently for the moment to stretch, for time to stop, for this closeness never to end. He bent nearer, his forehead almost brushing against mine. I felt my inner walls collapsing, years of loneliness and sorrow dissolving piece by piece. His lips lingered near my ear, and the heat of his breath spread through me, igniting nerves I didn't know could burn. My lips trembled, aching to form words, yet nothing came. His fingers traced along my chin, as if reassuring me of what I already knew, that I belonged within his grasp. And the strangest truth of all was that I accepted it willingly. If this was captivity, then I cherished the chains. Looking into his eyes, it felt as if he were silently saying, "You are not a shadow. You are real." I surrendered my heart to that unspoken voice. My body shook, but the trembling was not weakness. It was the force of a desire that bound us together, unbreakable, undeniable. In that moment, I felt as though losing myself was the only way to truly find myself. I was not trapped, I was free, and that freedom existed only within the prison of his embrace. Night had unfolded in its full intensity. The rain had stopped, yet the weight of dampness still lingered in the air. The silence of the room now felt as though even breathing required his permission. I stood pressed against the wall, his shadow falling over me entirely. He drew so near that I felt there was no distance left between us. His steps, his breath, his gaze, everything was consuming me. I told my heart this was only a game, but my heart refused. This was no game anymore. This had become reality. His fingers rested firmly on my waist, and for a moment time seemed to stop. A wave coursed up my spine, spreading through every nerve in my body. My eyelids grew heavy, but I did not dare break my gaze from his eyes. In them, I saw a secret never spoken aloud, a secret that bound me completely. His lips hovered close to my face, and I felt as though even my breath was borrowed from him. My lips trembled, yet I tried to control them. His hand tilted my chin gently, and it felt as if he were showing me a mirror of my own soul. A question thundered in my heart. If this is deception, then why does it feel like I have waited my entire life for this moment? The answer came in the curve of his silent smile. That smile carried command, yet also tenderness. For the first time, I realized my weakness was my strength. To remain within his hold was not slavery, it was freedom. I lowered my lashes and surrendered myself fully to the moment. Every fear, every denial, every resistance melted away. Now the room echoed with the weight of our silence. The world outside had lost all meaning. Only the two of us remained. I held my breath, listening to the rhythm of my own heartbeat. His grip tightened further and my soul yielded completely. I knew then this captivity was not an ending, but a beginning. I accepted him. I desired him. And for the very first time, I felt this was not a prison at all. It was the freedom I had been searching for all my life. If this story held you captive till the very end, then like this video, share it with your friends. Leave your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Legend and Lloyd Stories.